Welcome to Sally Speaks Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sally Arkell-Boles, your high performance success and mindset mentor. I firmly believe that you deserve to create the wealth, wellness, and wisdom you've always desired. This podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, education, and motivation to guide you on your path to success. Each episode features exceptional guests who are leaders in their respective fields, sharing their incredible stories and journeys to empower and uplift you. Welcome to Sally Speaks Podcast. I'm your host, Sally Arkell-Boles, and I'm a high performance success and mindset mentor. I believe that you deserve to create wealth, wellness, and wisdom that you've always desired. My podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and motivate you to success. And my guests are leaders in their field and have incredible stories and journeys to share with you. And today is no different. I am so thrilled to have Elle Nagy here. She's a self-leadership artist and legacy mentor. And she's your partner in international living, merging mindset, and headset for conscious female founders on a transformative journey. With a foundation spanning 3 decades, including a BA in honors in psychology, ILS coaching, pranic psychotherapy, and yoga teacher certification, Elle crafts a holistic approach to self-leadership. She empowers women to access their intuition and creative power, unlocking their true potential. Elle's book, The Little Book of Big Principles for Greatness, explores 5 ancient and evolved principles for holistic collaboration to inherit greatness, whilst her upcoming book, Keys to Self-Leadership, introduces groundbreaking concepts like the historian's journey and re-empowerment, lighting the path to personal sovereignty. Elle's mission extends beyond societal success, aiming for a life lived boldly and authentically. Her artistry and self-leadership is an invitation to embrace life events as a catalyst for growth, offering not just achievement, but an unapologetic celebration of life. Welcome, Elle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me here today, Sally. This is one of those podcasts that I've really been looking forward to.
Oh, awesome. I've been looking forward to it too, because we've known each other probably for about 6 months or so now. And we've had the opportunity to meet with each other on a number of different occasions and some different events. But one of the things that really drew me to you, number one, is your energy. It's just off the charts. You glow with everything that you do, but you have this sense of fun and joy in everything that you do and touch. And so I would love for you to just start and tell us a little bit about how you found your way. I'm assuming it's been a journey to get to where you are today, to just really show up in your pure essence every day.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful question. A journey? Yeah, it's an incredible journey, this thing called life. And I'm a typical high achieving woman, in fact, overachieving woman. I'm the one that got up at 4 a.m. and went to bed at ungodly hours, and everybody called me an energizer bunny. And I took life very serious. I took life very serious. I took myself very serious for the most part. It was all about, how do I appear to other people? Do I have the right credentials? Have I achieved the right goals? What else can I do? And life had a way of bringing me back to myself, to grow down, as we can almost say, through various experiences. Now, not all were fun experiences. I've gone through sexual trauma. I have gone through suicidal depression. I have gone through a very toxic marriage. I've gone through a lot of things in my life where I could have chosen to go further down the rabbit hole in feeling sorry for myself and being a victim in this space. And I'm going to say as well, man, did I go there? I want our listeners to understand that I have been to the darkest of the darkest places. And I recall one day lying on the floor, and I had checked out. I had checked out. I was having an out-of-body almost experience of observing myself breathing every now and again, like a fish out of water, just going, and then nothing. And I don't judge any of that, but I thank my my knickerbockers that I chose to kind of go, no, I don't want to continue like this. I want to live. I want to just live. I want to thrive. I want to be happy. And I started making different choices. I started choosing self-love. I started choosing fun. I started choosing to look like the fool to society. Because at the end of the day, the more I am allowing myself to be myself, the more society judges me. Society judges me for being weird and against the status quo and unpredictable and ununderstandable and just everything that we are not taught to be as good girls and yes, producing women. And in the process, I rediscovered this is Wonderland. This planet where we're on, this is my Wonderland, and I get to have fun. So I wake up in the mornings and I kiss myself literally every morning and go, I chose to live another day. How am I going to play?
Nice.
How am I going to play? And who am I going to play with? And it wasn't always easy on the road. A lot of the times I had no idea even what I was doing. A lot of the time it was just getting through the day and becoming aware of myself, becoming aware of how I'm thinking, and having a sense of humor about myself and go, oh, that's really interesting, Elle. Just think about what you're thinking right now. It sucks. Like it sucks. Why are you thinking like that? Let's bring out the violence, people, because Elle is having a pity party in her head again. And laughing at that and kind of going, oh my God, yeah, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. I am not my thoughts. And I don't have to think any thought. So my greatest gift in this life, and my ass is on fire every day, is I am no longer attached to any beliefs. I am no longer attached to any stories. I am no longer attached to how people perceive me. And for me, it's about if the story, if the belief doesn't make me happy anymore, I can let it go and replace it with something better. And just one story and one belief at a time, I recrafted my life into what I have today.
Wow. So there was so much packed into that. Number one, people will see you and think that you've lived a charmed life because of the way you're showing up right now, and think, oh, she's never had to struggle. She's never had any challenges. She's had that dream life. And that, yet that's how we also judge, right? By the appearance of how we're showing up and the confidence in which we're showing up. Because I sense a lot of confidence now that you're in this place where you're not worried about being judged, where you're also living your best life, how you choose to do it, and not on anybody else's terms. And I think that I recognize within you that there has been that big drive as a corporate woman, where a lot of us were very driven by that and coming forward with a different type of energy and really wanting to prove ourselves as worthy in the workplace and that we could be successful. But yet at the same time, there must have been a feeling within you that was like, there's something missing. Like, what am I missing here?
So for me, it's interesting. My journey was slightly different. So I was more driven as an entrepreneur, and especially as a high achieving coach. So I was driven in corporate, but I didn't think anything was missing. Like, I didn't think anything was missing. I just didn't fit into corporate. I'm that person that when you give me something to do, I can do it in an incredibly short amount of time because I can see how everything can be improved. I think that's one of my genius gifts. I have a gift for simplification, and through simplification, how do we do things better? How can we do this better? How can we do this in a way that's more fun, that gets us the results way faster than anybody else believes, and that is energy charging, not energy draining.
Right.
So when you're in corporate and you accomplish by 9 a.m. what your colleagues take until 5 p.m. to do, corporate don't like you no much. Corporate kind of goes, no, you're here to be like this, like you're supposed to produce at this pace and make it look this hard and have your bum in the seat from this time to this time. And I would keep going, oh, but that's silly and I'm bored and I have a life to live. So let me go and do my own thing. And my first business, well, I was in a restaurant, my first business. And then my second business was in recruitment. And only after recruitment did I find coaching. And through all of these, I was that person that set the so-called impossible goals and smashed them in record time, both in business. I took my first business to 6 figures in 10 months from zero, and with no internet, no Facebook, an old landline phone, with yellow pages, an old desktop computer, and the modem, right? Just to put you in the picture. But something interesting happened for me in the last couple of years, Sally. I got bored with goals. I got uninspired by the whole achievement realm. And I discovered it's because it's extraordinarily masculine in essence. And I'm not making it wrong, and I'm not making it wrong for anybody. I had just out-evolved it. And so for me, the missing piece was, well, who is the feminine Elle? The masculine Elle was the high achiever, the goal achiever, the driven woman, the on the ball woman, the society applauds women. But if I finally reclaimed my feminine energy, that was the missing piece for me. Was my feminine energy. And that's when I went, wow, if consciousness is out evolving coaching, and not in this lifetime, majority of people will be in the coaching modality for the next 2 lifetimes. But for those of us at the forefront, if we are out evolving the masculine paradigm of coaching, then what is next? And that's why I created the feminine art of self-leadership. So how do we invite back our femininity without becoming overtly feminine? I'm not a la sisterhood, let's sing and dance on the beach wearing wreaths in our heads. I don't resonate with that either. But as typical high achieving masculine women, how do we start creating in a way that's more fun, more aligned, more joyous, more spontaneous, more in trust, more intuitive? And what does that look like for us? So the missing piece for me was, who is Elle as the feminine energy instead of who is Elle just as the purely masculine energy?
Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that, because I've been through a similar journey where, I recognized that in the corporate world and in my careers, I was always coming forward with masculine energy. And I really didn't recognize it until I left, that that's what I was doing. And so I just find it so freeing to be able to actually step away from that, see the difference that I get to create in how I show up because of bringing that feminine energy. Now, one of the things that you mentioned that is near and dear to my heart is intuition. because I think that when we listen to our intuition, it can change everything in our lives. So tell me a little bit about your perspective on the intuition that you're now tapping into, because I think there's so many women that are, and men that are looking to really understand, how do I actually trust? How do I actually understand and listen to what that intuition is? And what do I do with it?
That's an interesting question. Wonder if I have an answer for you. Because I think that everybody experiences this differently. For me, my intuition comes through in the weirdest ways. I'll just be going about my life, and all of a sudden it's a do this. Like a just do this. And it's never makes sense, and it's always out of the blue, and it's always a oh, okay. But the moment that I get that do this, there's also this extraordinary excitement in me, which is why I know it's my intuition. My intuition is always exciting. My intuition is always like this little girl inside of me jumping up and down and clapping her hands and go, oh, that should be fun. Don't know why I'm doing this. Don't know where this is going to go, but okay. And then allowing myself to take the first step without knowing the map. I never have the map. I never have the journey. I don't even know why I'm doing this. But it's that sense of excitement that I know it's my intuition that tells me this is the next thing for you. Now, I wish I could say to people it's because I meditate every day or because I journal every day, and there's a way for you to tap into your intuition. But I think even that has people tapped out of their intuition a lot of the time, because we all get to create it and experience it so differently. And the moment that we start thinking that another person's way is the way to do it, is the way to get there, we take ourselves out of the game, because we just go into doubt all the time, because we go, I don't experience it like that. Elle hears a voice in her head. How does she get to hear a voice in her head? What does the voice sound like, Elle? What did you do to get the voice, Elle? I don't know. But I believe that we are all connected to our intuition. You don't need to create a space to connect to your intuition. We are all connected to our higher selves 24/7, 365. Like, you are a human being. There is the human you and the being you, your higher consciousness. You are one. You are one, creating consciousness evolution through life experience. So as the human needs the being needs the human. Like, can we just connect to the enormity of that at the moment? Your purpose is to evolve consciousness by having a human experience. That's your ultimate purpose. When you understand that, then you understand the enormous appreciation that consciousness has for you, for waking up today and taking the next breath. Like, the entire cosmos is cheering you on. It's giving you a standing ovation every single day, which means that you are never disconnected from consciousness. You are never disconnected from your inner being. But you get to choose how you communicate with your inner being. You get to choose how you experience your intuition. And a good place for me to start was, how do we do this? How are we going to do this dance, baby? Like, show me how you want to dance with me. And then allowing the crazy, like allowing the crazy voice in my head, and not go, oh, mustn't tell people there's a voice in my head because they're going to lock me up. Allow the crazy and allow allow the play of life.
Yes,
Right?
there's the creativity, right? Allow that creativity to flow through you.
It's playfulness. Like you can't get this wrong. You can't screw up, because whether you think you failed or you think you succeeded, consciousness has evolved. So you've been successful, baby. Whether you are down in the dumps today or flying high as a kite, consciousness has evolved because of that experience. You are a success. Everything in your life is a success because you are evolving consciousness through your experience. So, wow, like, can we just take that in for a moment and then go, so how do I want to play with consciousness? How do I want to play with my higher self? How do I want to receive my intuition? You get to decide. You get to decide. And whether it's through journaling, meditation, running a marathon, sitting by the beach, dancing to music, having an orgasm, like, you get to choose. How do you want to tap into your intuitive moments?
Yeah, and I think, what my experience has been is it just shows up randomly, right? It shows up during my day. All of a sudden, I'll be talking to somebody and I'll have an intuitive thought and say, this is something that I need to take to that next level. This is something I need to create. This is something I need to do. Or I'll be doing my normal day and I'll say, I just need to get out and go for a walk at this moment, like step away, because I may be feeling a little bit of tension or stress or maybe pressure, like, to get something done. It's like, no, I get to choose to just go for a walk right now, because that is going to give me all of that beautiful source energy that's going to give me the ability to come back and just look at life differently. And I was mentioning to my husband last night when he came home, I said, it was just such a cool day today. I was in flow all day. And I had just come back from being out of town for 3 days for business. And so, of course, your business at home stops as far as what you're doing with your work. But at the same time, I was just in such an ease and flow yesterday. And it just felt so blissful to be able to just work like that and not to feel the pressure, the anxiety, or anything that was taking me off of my game, because I was completely in flow.
When you're in flow, my experience is it's an enhancement of your state of being. So when I'm in flow in my day, I always ask myself, what is this moment made for? And what would enhance my state of being? Sometimes what will enhance my state of being is to write. Sometimes what will enhance my state of being is a meeting, having a conversation like this. Sometimes what will enhance my state of being is a nap.
Yes.
Or to eat. We are so conditioned to self-sacrifice, self-martyr, and self-deplete.
Yes, we are.
When our true power lies in self-love, self-care, self-appreciation, self-actualization. It is when we understand that ultimately whatever we create is not the human that's creating it. Ultimately, the universe is creating. Like, we are flowing the energy that's creating planets to us and through us. That's what is ultimately creating. It just kind of gives us the opportunity to have our hands in the clay and go, oh, I also want to be involved. I also want to tweak this and squishy that and pull this apart and play. I want to play. I came here to play too. I don't want to just sit here and visualize everything into being. That would be so boring for us. Right? So the universe goes, cool, Al wants to play. Okay, Al, I'll make you feel special. You go and write that thing and you feel good about yourself. And we'll say that's what created the outcome. But God, right? So if we start understanding that, actually, no, the universe is creating the big things for us and we get to play, then we take all that pressure off ourselves to go, well, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to get the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not going to get the outcome because you have a belief that if you don't do that, you're not going to get the outcome. Your belief is creating the outcome, not your actions.
Mm-hmm. So true.
So why would you want to take actions when you're exhausted and you really think that that is more important than what source is creating?
Mm-hmm.
Like you think that your ticking a box is more powerful than the thing that's creating the planet that you're walking on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good observation. I love that because I think there's so many things that we've been accustomed and trained to say, these are the tasks. You must get your tasks done. Make your to-do list in the morning. I've rephrased mine. I get to list and I put it down to 3 to 4 things. And I also put the energy I'm bringing to those because I want to plant that energy ahead of time to say, this is how it's going to flow today. And so in doing that little tweak, just completely changed my days into just being joyful because I get to start my day just with an energy of what I want to bring forward to things like this podcast so that I show up the way that I truly want to show up and how my being should show up. And then if I have some other tasks, those are like the secondary things. I know they'll get done because I'm bringing that beautiful flow and energy to the rest of my day, the most important elements and the most important people that I'll be connecting with. And so I know how it works. And I know that I don't need to question how things are going to happen or who's going to show up for me because I trust in that source. And I trust also in that flow and that, that fun of just being there to share my light with others. And I think that's a big piece of it for me is just knowing that I can show up for others in a way that's impactful. And it's not about the bottom line at any given point. The bottom line takes care of itself.
I have a rule for myself now, and that is when I get tired, I go, okay, resource, okay, source, I'm out of here. You take care of the rest today. I'm going to go play. I'm going to go sleep.
Nice.
I'm going to go read. I'm going to go do whatever. Like I've done my part today. The rest is up to you, right? And I fully trust in that.
Mm-hmm.
I fully trust in that. Now I'm going to say this as well. There was a little piece of conditioning of, oh, you've become so lazy, Elle. You're supposed to be working hard, Elle. It's only 12, Elle. What about the other 5 hours that you're supposed to be working? I had to really work through that piece as a high achieving woman because
Mm-hmm.
I had a story that if we are not working from 8 to 5, we don't deserve success.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not working from 8 to 5, I don't deserve to have a break. I don't deserve to have a good time. I had to earn it. And
Mm-hmm.
we still get bombarded with this a lot at the moment. Oh my God, I am so successful, but I get up at 4 a.m. and then I do this. And I look at those people and I go, wow. I mean, I'm really happy for them that they're having an amazing time, and clearly they are. And I used to be that woman, and now I choose not to be. And I think this is maybe really helpful for our listeners as well. We no longer make anybody's experiences wrong for them, but we get to start choosing what's right for us. So
Right.
I go through my day and I just go, what's my personal preference? And I get to observe what other people are doing and recognizing and acknowledging it's the right thing for them. And maybe it was the right thing for me for a while, but it's no longer my personal preference. How do I want this to work now? And then starting to become the woman who's living that life.
So now one of the things I know about you is you also call yourself the unapologetic woman and you create a community around that. So can you tell us a little bit about why you've chosen the word unapologetic and how it applies to your life today?
Yeah, I didn't choose it. It was chosen. So we were talking about this earlier today. I'm celebrating my 1 year anniversary of the Unapologetic Women podcast, which really came through intuition going, it's time to start a podcast. And I was like, I don't know anything about podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't know. What would I talk about? And it was, doesn't matter. It's a podcast and it's called The Unapologetic Woman. And so I called up a friend and said, hey, do you want to be my first guest on a podcast? And she said, what are we going to talk about? And I said, I don't know. Let's just talk. And the Unapologetic Woman podcast was born.
Nice.
From there, something just happened. There were some things. I'm big about language and I'm big about frequency of words. There was something within the Unapologetic Woman that just resonated so deeply for me, something in the phrase of the Unapologetic Woman. And so that is the question that I open every episode with, is what does it mean for you to be an unapologetic woman? And my curiosity was, what happens inside a woman when she even hears the phrase? And observing how women transform in front of my eyes when they pause to think about this and to start speaking about what does it mean to be an unapologetic woman, which is why the entire movement was created. I believe that an unapologetic woman comes down to us really coming home to ourselves. It's when we've gone through the journey of life, and most of these women are over 40. Something happens for a woman in her 40s. We've self-abandoned long enough. We've played the game of society long enough. We all seem to get to a point of, actually don't care as much anymore. And then eventually we don't care actually at all anymore. And that's when we rediscover who we are. We fall in love with ourselves again. We respect ourselves again. And here's the beautiful thing about being an unapologetic woman. As we love, appreciate, and respect ourselves, we finally get to do the same for everybody else. So we no longer apologize for our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our actions. We no longer apologize for that, but we also don't expect others to apologize. It seems to be the sweet spot of acceptance. And that's how Unapologetic Women came. And then she just grew, right? As you know, into the magazine, into the soiree, into the consultancy. Everything just grew from that. Because I believe there's an energy I believe that the Unapologetic Woman is an archetype. And by embodying the archetype through the empire, that is what I get to bring into the world. And that's what I'm living as my legacy.
And I love that because, as you're saying, the name just came to me, but it was more than the name. It was such a deep concept, but also one that is really making a wave, I would say, in society today, and at least in everything that you're bringing forward, to be able to represent that and allowing women to actually believe that, what does that mean to me? And can I live that way? Is it something that I've been looking for? Is it something that I've been seeking? And am I ready? And I think that's where the movement is starting to happen with that Unapologetic Women, because I've, shared some of your information with some other friends, and they're like, oh, that's me. I need that. And it's very, I think people are looking for that one piece that's going to make them say, that's the pin. That's what I can put on myself, because that's how I want to live my life now, is that as an unapologetic woman. So I thank you for tapping into source, or however it came to you, but you're taking it and now you're growing it into so many different avenues for people to be able to appreciate. And I have to give you a kudos for your magazine, because the artistry within your magazine is just off the charts. It's just beautiful. So how often, I just want to put a plug in here. So how often does your magazine come out? And tell me a little bit about that, just so that we can share that, because it's such a beautiful work of art.
Magazine comes out quarterly. So the next one's dropping October 1st. Which I'm really excited about because, oh my God, she's so pretty. Then I'm already thinking, and after that, the next one is January 1st. What an amazing gift for women to start next year off.
That'll be powerful.
One of the things about the Unapologetic Women is really breaking the stereotype of independence and evolving us as women into interdependence. And the magazine, like the podcast, is just the most beautiful example of what happens when a woman comes to her friends and go, hey, I've got a creative idea, who wants to play? And that is really what happened with the magazine as well. And I'm so proud to be curating. I mean, I read the article, Sally, and shout out to you as well, because you're one of my regular contributors and your articles are just always so gorgeous. When I read the magazine, I feel proud to be a woman. And I didn't feel proud to be a woman for a long time. When I read the magazine, my faith in being a woman feels restored. Because every contributor celebrates the best in womanhood.
Right.
It's almost as though and they keep getting better, right? If you're into personal development books, read the magazine, because it covers everything from sex to leadership to communication to how we show up in business. Everything gets covered in the magazine without me directing it, by the way. I just asked Source, the universe, to bring the right people for every issue, and it just works out perfectly every time.
Nice.
But for me, the magazine, and I call it a Rempowerment magazine. So I'm not about empowerment, I'm about Rempowerment. I'm here to remind women that they empower themselves. It comes from within you. And this magazine is a celebration of that. It's the celebration of empowered women who share their journeys, their wisdom with love, with the intention to inspire, uplift, and empower other women. And yes, she keeps growing. She becomes more beautiful every time. Every time I do it, I'm like, I'm so proud. How am I going to make this even nicer? And then I do the next one, and I'm like, wow, so much nicer than the previous one. And yes, again, it was following intuition. It's always following intuition. Made no sense at the time, but now I see it as one of the most beautiful vehicles that we have as unapologetic women to show what happens when we co-create interdependently and create a new platform for all of us.
No, it's just been a fun journey for me as well to be a contributor. So thank you for that. But I also know that the other women that I know, most of them that are contributing because of the community that you've created, but also just the depth of their understanding and their depth of their writing and really supporting and empowering, re-empowering, I'm going to say, because it's easier for me to say that.
Empowering, yes.
It really is a woman's magazine that's showing them the way, as opposed to showing them all their faults or their struggles, or the challenges that they're having. It's more really allowing them to step into their greatness and to be supported in that way, and to take away all of that noise.
What we focus on grows. And we hear everybody saying it, but I see them not getting it. What we focus on grows. So if we focus on on your problems, on your faults, on your areas of improvement, if we focus on that, which is the lie, and we were talking about lies this morning, which is the lie, then that is what grows in people's beliefs about themselves. And so that is then what life shows them, right? Reflection of what's going on inside. When we start focusing on what's beautiful about us, what's different about us, our uniqueness, our quirkiness, how we are perfectly designed for the roles that we are playing in this life, then that grows.
Yes.
When we focus on you are greatness, it is not something you have to earn. It's not something that you will feel one day when you've accomplished something. That's not true. When you start understanding you are greatness, you are a genius giant, and you come and play in the field where we recognize that within ourselves and then each other, or sometimes, like we expressed, in others first, and then go, oh my God, that means it's me too.
Yes.
Then all the illusions start showing themselves as illusions, and we start focusing, our conversations change, because we now focus on how amazing we are, how successful we are, how beautiful we are, and we celebrate that in ourselves and in each other. And that's what I want every reader to feel. I want them to get to the last page and go, damn, I feel good. Because they're calibrating to the belief of the contributors. They're calibrating to the energy of the writers who have all done so much work on themselves to get to a place of, yes, I actually like the face in the mirror. I actually love the face in the mirror. Like, all my contributors are those women. And by reading their words, you can calibrate to that. And then stop thinking you have to fix yourself. You're not broken. You are whole.
Yes.
You're complete. You are beautiful. You are so intelligent. You are magnificent. And I want to say this to you. If you read my magazine, you are that. Otherwise, you wouldn't find her. You wouldn't be on a frequency to find her.
Yes.
So for me, that's really what the magazine stands for, and what I choose to grow.
Now, I want to just ask you about your concept that you have created, which is called the Historian's Journey. Would you mind sharing us a little bit about that? Because I think you have such a way with words, and I love that one, Historian's Journey.
So I think it's a whole chapter in the book that's coming out. And it was when I started really tapping into masculine and feminine, and man and woman, and understanding how it all works in this life experience, I came to the understanding that history is masculine. It's about names and dates and events, and it's all very academic. And that is what we are taught to learn, and that is how we are taught to learn, right? Not just the what. And I sat one day and I was like, nobody ever asks, what do we as a species learn from this, and how do we do it differently? There's wisdom lacking in our educational system. And therefore, there's wisdom lacking in our current societal structure, which we see a lot. People are addicted to information. People are eating up knowledge, but very few people are harvesting wisdom. And when I started tracking my own personal journey, I discovered that there was a very specific path that I followed to become what I call a historian, which is a woman of wisdom. And a historian can be a man as well, by the way. It's not sex specific. But there was a very specific journey, which is the historian's journey, of where I had to start becoming aware of who and what I am. I had to start witnessing my life experience. I had to do a lot of forgiveness, healing, transformation, to almost let go of the ego identity, and become an observer of life, in order for me to see wisdom. And once we go through that journey as a historian, we now share wisdom, not our stories. Very few people are able to receive wisdom at this time because they're operating from fear, and that's okay. I've also come to recognize how history is woven into society and through time dimensions, where sometimes it's planted in the future to be received in the past through stories, through music, through dance, through movies,
Yes.
through books. But you have to be awake, and you have to start seeing the wisdom that's woven into even the old fairy tales. There's wisdom for those who seek to find it. And so when we start stepping into the historian's journey, it is a radical self-healing journey that anybody can go through, to disconnect from the ego identity and operate from fear, and start tapping into divine love consciousness, and learn and choose different from the learnings.
Well, I think there's been so many amazing points that you're making, but I really, as you're talking about the historian's story, and that the wisdom is really what we're missing on a lot of things in society today. We're missing the wisdom behind everything. And like you said, it's who can gain the most knowledge out there, and knowledge is everywhere, whether it's correct or whether it's incorrect. We can find whatever we're looking for today. And it really is allowing us to be able to tap into that inner wisdom and that intuitive feeling that we have, that is this something that I should challenge? Is this something that I should spend my time on? Or is there a better source as well? Because I see there's so much divide in our society today because of the plethora of information that's out there that anybody can write and anybody puts out there, and it's taken as gospel. And so for that, I think we need to train ourselves to be able to see beyond, and to go a little bit deeper, and to really see where that wisdom is in the story, or the message that's being shared.
And remove your gurus from their pedestals. My observation is, and again, not making anybody wrong, but what is being taught mainstream at the moment is only still relevant for mainstream. If you are listening to this and you are hearing things, and a lot of the times you go, really? Then you're not part of the mainstream, and you should be playing in our realm of the unapologetic women, because we have the audacity to tap into new consciousness, bring through new concepts and new understandings, which the mainstream is not going to be ready for in our lifetimes. But that does not give us a get out of jail free card to negate our responsibility in being pioneers of consciousness at this time. But once you start playing on this field, you will very rarely listen to a teacher and think, oh yeah, that's still current. Because most of what's being taught at the moment is not current in the forefront of consciousness anymore. It's only still evidenced by a recycling and regurgitation of the same thing every day. So mainstream is recreating the same day, like Groundhog Day, because they keep regurgitating the same things because that's what the gurus are teaching. But do you have the brass ovaries to challenge within your mind what the guru is saying and just playfully and curiously go, but what if it's wrong?
Mm.
What else is possible?
Mm-hmm.
And people have a fear about that.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think you are to question the guru? Look at them. They are billionaires. They must have it right. Yeah. Well, they have it right for the frequency where they are living on, but we're not all living on the same frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're here to play in the forefront and you are reading and learning mainstream, what are you doing, girlfriends? Like, you're out of your playing field, and the only reason you're playing there is because you want to be accepted by the tribe.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a reason why so many of us have been lone wolves all of our lives. And when you look at the community that I'm creating, we are historically all lone wolves.
Yes.
We didn't fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
And I had to start questioning, why is that? And this is why. Because even as we listen to the teachers and the preachers and the gurus, inside our minds, there's this nagging that kind of goes, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, I can, some things, yes, but then some things, no. And if we were in the wrong spaces and we dared question, brick ton, right, falls down upon you, and you get put back into your place really, really quickly. So the space that I'm creating is, why don't we just question everything, including ourselves, and then start playing in the realm of possibilities?
Yes. I love that, playing in the realm of possibilities, because I know we don't ask ourselves what's possible often enough, because every day you can wake up and ask yourself, what's possible today? And not put any boundaries on it. And when you do that, you'll be surprised at how much shows up. And I love that. I think you've coined another phrase in there with your brass ovaries. So I think you should probably get that one trademarked. but but it is down to that consciousness, and it is, really allowing us to be able to tap into that frequency that's going to allow us to have that abundance, that joy, that fun, that playfulness, that success that we're looking for, but also that ease in our life where we don't have to question. We just know. It's a knowing that we have, that knowing of our inner being. And as we're working together, women, men, any gender that's out there, we can all rise. We can all rise to have success. And we need to be able to understand that what we see in you, Elle, with that joy, that understanding, that ability to play every day, that ability to listen to your inner being and your intuition, and have a nap at noon if you want to, or just say, you take care of the rest, Source. I'm done for the day. Can you please take care of this? That's the beauty of what we can do to create our lives in a way that is going to be so much more happy, joyful, successful, ease. And it's a great way to leave legacy when you teach your children.
To live legacy. I don't take a stand for leaving a legacy. I think that is a modality where we were still trained to suffer in the moment so that we leave something spectacular. Screw that. Live your legacy, because your legacy is the frequency that you are calibrated to today, and then today, and then today. And when you start understanding that, that your frequency is your legacy.
Yes.
Wouldn't you want to live your best legacy every day? And yes, we're human. Some days suck knickerballs. Let's all be honest here. But that does not mean that needs to be your eternal legacy Tomorrow morning, you wake up, you put on those beautiful G-strings with the lace going up your, and you just go, and how do I play today? What is my intention for today? How do I intend to celebrate life today? Every day is your birthday. Like every morning that you return to consciousness, your consciousness, your higher being is reborn into your body. That is why you become conscious when you wake in the mornings. It's your consciousness returning to your body, which means you're reborn every day. Every day is your birthday. Why on earth are we waiting for once a year to celebrate everyday birth?
Yes, love it.
Everyday birth. And when you start going, what, today is my birthday? Who do I want to play with? What do I want to sing? How do I want to eat? How do I celebrate today? Because I don't know if I'm going to have tomorrow, and it's not morbid. I think people don't want to face death, and so they never live.
Yes.
Whereas when you understand that death is inevitable and thrive is a choice, then you get to thrive every day.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a really powerful conversation, and I really appreciated all of the insights that you have. And I think that's a fabulous way to end it today, is choosing to thrive every day. We have a choice. We can choose how we show up every day. Like you said, we're reborn every morning. And aren't we lucky that we get to open our eyes and start our day afresh and start our life afresh, because each day is the start of the new beginning. And so I really love that. Let's choose to thrive. Let's choose to tap into our consciousness and live unapologetically.
That's sister. I'll take that one. Sally, thank you for having me as a guest. This is an amazing space that you've created, and such a privilege to be on here today, my friend. And so thank you to all the listeners.
Where can people find you, Elle?
I'm quite hard to find these days because I've made the decision to leave social media. So really the best place to find me is my website, unapologetic-women.com, and to reach out to me on my email, l@unapologetic-women.com, and connect with me. I am not interested in followers. I am interested in connections. I am a really nice person most of the times. Well, I mean, you get to experience me how you get to experience me. But I love getting on calls with people. I love a meet and greet call. So connect with me, listen to the podcast, read the magazine. We'll give you all the links. And yeah, don't be a follower, be a player.
There we go. Love it. And I really thank you for showing up today and all your essence. And it's been just a pleasure of mine to have gotten to know you really well over the last 6 months or so, and to be, I'm very honored that you've included me in a lot of your different communities, as well as within your magazine. And I just feel so blessed to have you and the beauty that you bring forward for everybody into my life. So thank you for being here today.
It's so, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Sally Speaks Mindset podcast. We hope this episode has inspired and empowered you on your quest for success and personal growth. If you're ready to take your success journey to new heights, connect with me, Sally Arkell-Boles, your high-performance success and mindset mentor. Whether you're an executive, entrepreneur, or part of a dynamic team, I'm here to help you navigate challenges, supercharge your mindset, and drive exceptional results. Together, we'll embrace a transformative approach, breaking through limitations and opening doors to uncharted territory. No matter your industry or profession, my mission is to empower you to excel. From leadership development and sales excellence to personal empowerment, we'll tailor a journey that aligns with your unique goals. Connect with me and start your transformational journey today. Let's collaborate on unleashing your full potential and creating a future filled with success and growth. Don't forget to follow, like, comment, and share to spread empowerment. You can find more about me and connect with me through the links provided in the show notes. Thank you for being part of the Sally Speaks Mindset podcast community. Stay empowered, stay motivated, and keep working towards the success you deserve.